Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Thursday, and welcome back to another LocalStack community meetup. Really glad to see you all here. You guys could have chosen to be anywhere in the world, but you are here with us. And you picked a good show to show up for. Um, all right, quick setup before we get into it. If you've ever worked with LocalStack or any cloud tooling, you know the CLI is kind of the front door to your entire experience. And sometimes that front door can be a little stubborn. So today's session is all about rethinking that experience from the ground up. We're getting a look inside of LSTK, which is LocalStack's next generation CLI built from scratch in Go. And this isn't just a refresh or a few new commands. This is a full rebuild focused on speed, simplicity, and actually making your life easier as a cloud developer. We've gone beyond just the surface, and our speakers today are going to walk through how LSTK is designed under the hood. So if you care about architecture, extensibility, CI integrations, IDE workflows, and the like, you are going to get something out of this. Now, let's introduce our speakers. First, we've got Carole from software engineering as a senior software engineer at LocalStack here. And we've also got Silvio, also a senior software engineer at LocalStack. And why don't you all introduce yourselves? Thank you all for joining us. Happy to have you all.
Thank you, Kaya. I'll start. Hi, everyone. Happy to be here. My name is Carole. I'm a software engineer. I joined LocalStack about 6 months ago, but I have 16 years of experience in software engineering in a wide range of companies and products. I am mostly specialized in Go in the last years, backend, AWS infrastructure. And yeah, we've built together with Silvio the new CLI lstk in the last month, and we are super excited to show it to you today.
Awesome.
Hello, I'm Silvio. I'm also an engineer at LocalStack. I'm here for a bit longer, maybe also more from the early days. And yeah, I've internally wanted to do this for quite some time now, to bring a new CLI experience in LocalStack, and I'm happy we finally got to work on that, and happy to show it today a bit how we've started.
Yes, it is very exciting. Very excited to get things rolling. So this session is going to be pretty straightforward. You all are going to just talk about LSTK, give us a short demo. I guess I'll let you all take it away.
Thanks, Kaya. So I'm gonna start by telling you a bit about the reason why we thought we needed a new CLI, and then Silvio will give you a demo. So I think maybe the first question will be like, why did we need a new CLI, and especially why did we need to build it from scratch? So one problem we've heard over and over again, and one we also experienced as LocalStack developers, is the fact that it was built in Python created a lot of friction because of the nature of Python, there is no binary, and it has a lot of dependency to your machine. So one example is your Python version. So we decided to build it in Go, so it comes in a binary with zero dependencies to your environment. Of course, also because of the fact that it's built in Go, it's faster. It's faster to start. It's faster to execute than Python. And it's easier to distribute than the previous CLI. You can already find it available on NPM, Brew, GitHub releases. You can also build it from sources if you like. It's available publicly on GitHub. But there will be more to come. Another thing that we've heard was causing some frustration is updating the CLI. And we've built right in the new CLI an update command that work seamlessly, independently of your distribution, independently of the way you installed it. Then we designed it to work for multi-emulators from day one. So by emulator, I mean you are mostly familiar with the AWS emulator we built, but we also have a Snowflake emulator, and there will be an Azure emulator coming soon. So we want the CLI to work. Maybe you have infrastructure that's using both Snowflake and AWS, and you want to be deploying your resources on those two emulators. Without needing to choose one or another, which was like the big problem with the legacy CLI. And then the other thing, which I think is going to be much easier with the new CLI, is the configuration. So the way you do it with the legacy CLI is mostly through environment variables. But what we built in lstk is a toml config. And what's really great about that is it will automatically pick up your local config, which means if you have multiple projects that are all using a different environment for LocalStack, you can just have different configurations in your various projects, and you can check that in your repo and have version control for it. Now, I also wanted to tell you a bit about what we think are the highlights, like the nicest feature of lstk. The number one, I think, is the authentication, which is much simpler than what you experienced with the V1 of the CLI. You used to have to go and find your token in the browser, copy paste it, and export it in your shell. So this is way simpler now. The new CLI is opening your browser. You don't have to click anything. It's just going to fetch your token for you and store it safely in your system's keyring. We developed a new command, which is the status command, which I think is super cool. It's listing all of your deployed resources across all of your services. So you can really see in one glance all of the work you did, all of the resources you deployed. And then the last highlight I wanted to talk about, and that you will see in a second in the demo of Silvio, is the new TUI. So we have a great UI that is much more interactive, with actionable error messages. We know, for example, that the logs output in the legacy CLI was kind of overwhelming, and we've worked on filtering those logs, making them colored so it's much easier to understand what's going on. We've worked on giving really actionable feedback. So say if your Docker daemon is not running, you'd get a very clear message with a suggestion to actually solve that, and some rotating tips to help you get started very quickly and deploy your resources in your emulators. Now onto the demo. Silvio will take the stage and show you what we worked on.
Yes. Sorry, I had to restart right now. I'm not sure. I had some minor things breaking with my setup, but I think it should be working now. All right. Let me set up everything. Okay, let's go. Can switch to my screen. Okay, so as you can see, like in our setup, we have like a new getting started page, which tells you to install LSTK with Homebrew, which is what we've done already here. We've installed LSTK version 0.5.3. However, most recently, we also came out with version 0.5.4. So this, like the first feature you'll see here is that we can update the CLI immediately when you use it. And it's running brew upgrade. Okay, something broke, sorry. Basically, to explain what broke, something is going wrong with my terminal right now, and when I execute some commands, they just don't run. But let's let me just quickly fix that. This is the typical demo effect. I've gone in, and if I go in and rebuild it as a new binary, I can then copy it over into my local bin folder, then uninstall it in Homebrew. And if I go back in here and I run it, it will ask me to update it. It will download the new version. Basically, what I did right now is just I rebuild it with a different version, so I can showcase the update command. It updates itself to 0.5.4. Then when I try using it again, another thing breaks. This time it's a planned break. I actually planned it before. We want to showcase if you have some issues, for example, with Docker, we immediately recognize it and can tell you what you could do. Maybe like you haven't started Docker Desktop, then you would need to start it. But here we also have the error message for that. It says that Docker Desktop is manually paused right now, something I just did before, and we can just resume it. Then if that's done, what will happen is, obviously it opened it on the wrong, so I've got LocalStack on the wrong browser open right now. So I'll need to copy it here. Sorry for those disruptions. It just
no
happens.
problem. Silvio,
It should.
Can you hear me? Can you make the text a little bit bigger?
Yeah,
the
of
audience
course.
is asking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can barely see it. Perfect. That's a little bit more.
Let's go.
Perfect. There you go. Thank you.
All right. So if you would have only one browser window open, it would open it here directly next to you. And then you can authorize it. I can just click then enter here. You're logged in. It takes your auth token, makes everything ready for you. And then it starts the container. And what it also asks now is, can it configure a profile in .aws for you? I would just say yes. And what it then does is in your AWS profiles, it creates an extra LocalStack profile that you can use to just interact with LocalStack. So let us just do that. I'll also use this opportunity to just show that we also can show logs, because usually before with the LocalStack container, now with the old LocalStack CLI, you just see the logs immediately. We decided to not have it here because you can just do the logs afterwards, and we have like some new features planned for the regular startup flow, which won't be only logs. So we have this logs command now to just follow the logs. You can see we also have like a bit more styling in here. So you only see like the things that are important and so on. And we can then try this command that we suggested here after creating the profile to go against LocalStack. As you can see, it goes against the instance that we've started. One thing I also like a lot in our web app, where you can also see that it's started here, is that in this overview, you can see that something was added. And in fact, we liked it so much, we also added it to the CLI. So you can just do lstk status, and then you would see the same thing. So we see that we've created this bucket. There's, of course, like a bunch of other resources you'll be able to see here. This is just for showcasing purposes. Yeah, so then there's another thing in here. We can see not a lot of logs. Sometimes things like you might want to see some debug logs or set up something different. And then you would want to like pass some environment variables to the container. For this new CLI, we've reimagined how this should work. So this would go through the configuration file that we have. So to know where the configuration file is, you can just do lstk config path, and it would tell you it's in the config directory at lstk and config toml. So if we want to look at it, we can just do that, and we can see the format. We've automatically created one, which just creates an AWS container on 4566, like it's usually done. And you have some other extra options that you can do that there. For example, if you would want some debug environment, you would then change it so that you pass an environment to this container, which you have defined here. I could change this in this global config file, but another thing we've added is actually having this having this local config files. So if you have like a project, for example, in the future, we always said we want to enable multi emulator support. So if you have maybe a project where you use Azure and maybe one project where you use AWS, you could have different configs there, so that you start one or the other, or you maybe want some kind of different environment variables that you want to pass. So if you go into some project like this demo project, then what you would do is like you would just create an lstk folder, and then you would copy that config into there. And now if I do lstk config path, you'll see that it will prefer this local config. So if I go into Vim and change this, I can then change this environment and use this debug environment that I've defined below here. And I can comment this, remove the comments here. And now if I do lstk stop to stop the container and restart it again, maybe let's wait a bit here. And if I do lstk again, it will start. Looks like we've released just now a new latest image. This is also something that we've changed, that will pull the latest image so that you're always updated. We've noticed sometimes people think they're on the latest image, but if you don't actually pull it previously, it's just one latest image that you've pulled in the past, and you're not actually on latest. So now we can see lstk status again, it started. No resources deployed, and if we do lstk logs follow, you can see a bunch of extra logs in here, like the debug logs that we've set up. So this is how you can quickly change your configs. If I would now go out of here and do again an lstk stop and a subsequent lstk start, it would not use that local config anymore because we're not in this local config. If we then do follow, we see that there are no debug logs anymore. So yeah, that's like our main flow that we want to enable right now with the new CLI. And yeah, it's mostly just shows like our philosophy with the new CLI to make everything just work seamlessly. You just type lstk, and in most cases it should work. It should enable like some configuration options and so on, and some advanced features that are coming in the upcoming quarter. But the core philosophy is to make it seamless for everyone. So that's the demo. We can answer some
Yes.
questions now, I guess.
Thank you. And thanks Silvio and Carole. And thanks to the demo guys for letting that go through because I know how it is when you do things live and it's just like, what happened? So yeah, we do have some questions. Now, folks, if you've got questions, feel free to put them in the comments, but I actually have some queued up questions. What was the breaking point when you all were like, yeah, we need to go ahead and build this from scratch? Like what, was there a single thing? Was there a number of things? Like, tell me how that process happened.
So I guess there's multiple things there. One thing like that I really didn't like is that we had this. I mean, on one hand, it's good that we had this, but we had this binary release where we have used this tool PyInstaller, which bundles a Python interpreter with the CLI, and it just was always just a stopgap solution to provide like a binary that, and yet you don't need Python for it. But this introduced like a lot of problems. Like we already had an update command. We had some kind of updates in the old CLI. You could just do localstack update and update either the emulator, like the image, and pull the image, or you could only update the CLI or like update both. But this only worked if you installed it via Python. And if you had it with this PyInstaller build, which you then would install via, I guess, Homebrew or something else, this would not work. And this kind of showcases like we have this need of this binary, but it's like not really considered because it's something that came later and so on. And with how we've like changed how we are distributing LocalStack, with it mostly being now the product which runs in a container and not on your directly on your host machine, this connection of the CLI that is built in Python with the like emulator product that is built in Python was not necessary anymore. So this was a good opportunity, I think.
Very good. Very good. What about the biggest? Well, you kind of like touched on this, but I wonder if there are other like friction points. Because one of the questions is, what are the biggest friction points from the current or from the old CLI that you're trying to eliminate? Are there any others outside of that ability to update? Or was you want to take that one, Carole? Or seems like you're noodling over there. Like you have several.
No, definitely, yeah. Update has made it easier. Like update has become easier, and distribution. I think the way we are distributing the CLI v1 is through pip install mostly. Correct me if I'm wrong, Silvio. But now we will provide like a wide range of distribution methods, like the one people are used to when they install a CLI. So brew if you're on Mac, or npm. So that should be much easier now.
I think also like we breezed through it, but like the way we did like the authentication was like, I don't know, you just needed to like go in there. Like if I look at the web app right now, you need to then go into the settings, then find out where is like this auth token that I need. Okay, I go in there, then you need to copy it, then you need to like put it somewhere. Do like a local stack auth token. I mean, I have it here. Sorry, maybe I'll put something there. So, and then like it's very annoying. Like or you could also do like this local stack, like set off token, I think as well.
Mhm.
It was also maybe a bit brittle, didn't always work. Now it just started and it just does everything for you. You don't need to see this page. Maybe that's like more administrative. You just get into that. It says install it and you can just start it and it just works. I think that's like also time to value is much shorter now, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point because, you know, like whereas before we would, of course, the auth token would be cached for a certain amount of time, but then sometimes you would start it and it would be like, well, am I actually using which image am I using because of the auth token, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, that is a great point. Speaking of time to value, how did you think about onboarding? Like, so first time user installs LocalStack, what experience are you optimizing for?
So first of all, we want to decrease the amount of configuration they need to do. They should just work. We just need to type lstk. It will authenticate in their browser, and then they should be set to get started. So that's really, I think, what we optimizing for. It should be very easy, very quick to get started, create your resources.
Very good. That's always like a good thing to optimize for, right? Because it's like you want people to be able to use the product, especially like you want them to be able to get something out of the product pretty quickly. Because we realize, we've all got competitors. We want our product to be able to stand apart in that, like Silvio said earlier, time to value conversation for sure. Great. Silvia, do you have anything to add to that one, or can we move on to the next question?
I think Carole captured it perfectly.
Sweet. All right. The last one I have is what's next for LSTK? What should the community be excited about moving forward?
Yeah, I'd take that one. So yeah, I also wanted to say, like, this is just kind of a first version. It's not yet a drop-in replacement for your CLI v1. We have a lot on our roadmap. We're just getting started. We are very busy. There will be more things coming soon. And some of these things are multi-emulator support. So we kind of mentioned that briefly, but yeah, Snowflake is coming soon. Azure is coming soon. Then there's tons of features in the CLI, the legacy CLI that are not yet implemented, such as the pods or snapshots. They're coming soon as well. And we're working on, just more interactivity, more better, better output. We have our UX designer George has plenty of ideas to really, like, we don't want to make it just a we don't want to reach just parity with the legacy CLI, but we will build a lot of new exciting features that will make it easier for you to interact with your emulators.
Awesome. Looking forward to what is coming down the pipeline where that's concerned. Well, if there are no other questions, I think we are good to wrap up. First off, huge thank you to Carole and Silvio for walking us through LSTK. This is one of those sessions where you can really see the thought and intention behind the developer experience. And that's like a flag that I love to wave, the DevX flag. You're not just building features, you're actually removing friction, which we all can appreciate. My biggest takeaway is the idea of going from install to running in seconds and making that time to value as short as possible. If you are here and you haven't tried LSTK yet, this is definitely your sign. Go play with it and see how it fits into your workflow. As always, if you enjoyed this session and want to keep the conversation going, join us in the LocalStack community Slack. It's really the best place to ask questions and share what you're building and get unblocked without waiting on a meetup. And we've got more sessions coming up next month. So definitely join us in our next one.
Thanks,
All right,
Kaya.
thanks so much. Until next time.